We want to make sure that only American citizens are voting. But yet,
Totally reasonable.
the media, and not only is it reasonable, it's something that's basically ubiquitous worldwide, except for in the United States. But basically, the media is twisting it so that you can't even say that this is trying to inform people. This is pure propaganda, and it's counter to what the American people want. Every single poll they do, it turns out 75%, 80%, 70%. They all say we want to have voter ID, some kind of voter ID.
So is it a lock? You need voter ID to vote now?
Not yet. I don't know if this is the.
I'm trying to find anywhere in the article where it actually says women can't vote, but it doesn't. It literally does not.
The argument
They're
is
just lying.
that because if you're a woman and you're married, you change your last name, there'll be a discrepancy on your birth certificate compared to what your ID says, and that might disadvantage.
Do you need two forms of ID? Like your ID's not enough?
No.
Look at this. It says some claim that requiring proof of citizenship is too onerous a burden, or that it will disenfranchise those whose names have changed for reasons like marriage.
Yeah.
Have you ever tried to enter into a contract and they go, ma'am, that's not your real name.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I can see them if also with like mail-in voting, if they're like, we're going to make you vote in person, they're making it more difficult for people to vote.
Well, that's exactly.
I mean, there are some like infirm people who like probably cannot physically vote who should be allowed to. But yeah, obviously, if you can vote, like you should.
Infirm.
I guess if there's a medical reason that they can't get to the poll.
There's some, like imagine you're like an elderly person and you're like, I don't know, it's really.
I'm open to that.
Yeah. Well, but this is nonsense. And here's the thing: I say this is nonsense. I'm actually not in favor of women voting. Period.
There you go.
And I'm still this is nonsense.
If we could get rid of, we could find some way to disenfranchise women, it would be a good start. All right, because we need more than just women.
I'm the woman in here, I guess. No, I'm just kidding. I'm
think
going to play the
that's,
devil's. I'm going to be the woman for this conversation, guys.
I think that there should be a lawsuit. It is absurd to me that women have the right to vote, but can't be conscripted.
Yeah.
Agreed. Equal rights, equal responsibilities. Conscription doesn't mean we want women on the front line. It means they can be working in offices or doing something. But the idea, the scenario this creates is that women can vote for war knowing they have no responsibility for it.
What about women with no kids could be drafted?
Nope. Men have kids too.
Yeah, but men don't have to
do what?
The reason.
Listen, the reason that the draft exists.
I mean, honestly, the women with kids are probably a little hardened compared to the ones.
They're
you know, the ones with no kids. You're like, what are you going to do?
The reason the draft exists, right? The reason the draft exists is because they need infantrymen. Well, what about that's the vast majority of people that get drafted? They're just rifle. They get put in the position of riflemen.
Stand in front.
The World War II draft. I'm pretty sure there
was very little draft in World War II because dudes were signing up.
Yeah, everybody was like geared.
Yeah, they were like, let's go.
Everybody was like 12-year-olds were like lying and saying they were 18.
No, women stayed home because they went into the jobs that the men left.
Right, the industrial sector, like Rosie the Riveter is a famous picture of that woman making a pump in her arm, and because it was all factory workers, but they weren't. You're saying they weren't drafted into the factory; they just filled the void.
Yeah,
it was the wartime effort. Exactly. You know, have you ever seen that video of the Vietnam draft that was on TV? They like televised it like a game show. It's one of the craziest things I've ever seen.
Really?
Literally, you can look at it. It's on YouTube. Literally, it looks like a game show. It's from like the 60s, and they call
lottery.
Everybody's number. Everybody had a number based on birthday.
Draft lottery.
And if you were first, you were going right to Vietnam.
A live report on tonight's picking of the birth dates for the draft. Here at Selective Service Headquarters in Washington is CBS News correspondent Roger Mudd.
Roger Mudd.
Good evening.
Let's just jump ahead.
29 years, barring deferments. The next birthday in order, April 24th. And so on down the line this evening.
So wait, how did it work?
So if you were the first birthday, you were like, you're going like right away.
But like everybody with that birthday?
They pulled,
all the 18-year-olds first, and then they did all the 19-year-olds with the birthday, and then all the 20-year-olds with the birthday.
But like if you were the 365th birthday, like obviously if you're in college, but
what I mean, like when you went to basic training on the draft, everybody had the same birthday.
I guess your group probably. I could be wrong about this, but
crazy.
I don't know if it was by age. I think it was just if you're that birthday, you're the first up.
I'd love to have it. Was so basically say,
dude, imagine the dread if you're watching this and you don't want to go and they just call your birthday.
Canada, they were joining the Navy.
Call your birthday.
People were saying they were gay to get out of the military back then.
That works.
That's the thing. The reason that people were doing things like joining the Navy or trying to flee is because they knew that you get drafted and you go into the infantry.
Yeah.
into
you go into the meat
meat grinder jungle into Cambodia.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Until they
Someone's
come at
getting
night.
picked.
Cambodia was secret stuff.
24.
There were some dudes in Cambodia.
Yeah, but they were secret.
Anybody's birthday called yet?
April 24th.
You didn't get drafted.
Anybody here's birthday called yet?
Nope.
April 24 is 002.
And like if you know somebody with that.
So these are individual people?
No, what'll happen is they call
if you're eligible to be drafted, which was I guess what all American men of
18 to 25
of a certain age.
I
And
believe
then
it was 18.
if you were slot number 1, you guys are like the next up.
It was all the 18-year-old slot number 1. Then they go to slot number 2, and it was all the 18-year-olds from slot number 2 birthday. Then all the 18-year-olds from slot number 3 birthday. Then when they were all done, they'd go back and be all the 19-year-olds from slot number 1, all the 19-year-olds from
So
slot.
they would repick a birthday for slot number 1 again?
They just keep, as far as I know, it was the same order. And then it would be, they'd go down the list again for all the 19-year-olds.
I mean, if that's the
list
case,
for all
then if you're an
20-year-olds.
18-year-old, you're like, oh my God.
Will be drafted.
Brutal.
So for number
The fact that they,
35,
I mean, I guess they had to
May
televise
7th,
it back then, but
August 24th,
And I could be
what a way to,
May 11th,
yeah,
October
I didn't know if it was
December
by
11th, May
18.
13th, December
I think they
10th,
took the 18-year-olds
July
first.
13th, December 9th.
They took.
August
What a way to look at
16th,
that.
August
Isn't that
2nd,
crazy though?
November 11th,
Just to be watching this with your family.
August.
Would you guys, if you got drafted, would you go?
To Nam, I would have fled. If I knew what they knew, what we know now, I
you did.
never would have went
Well,
into that
you didn't
jungle.
know that.
I mean, I would have tried to avoid it.
I mean,
Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.